Welcome to the Camden County Chamber of Commerce's Getting Your Business podcast, your go-to source for all things small business in Camden County. I'm your host, Alison Shores, and each week we'll be diving into the heart of our community, bringing you inspiring interviews with local small business owners, insightful discussions on issues that matter, and the latest on events that could impact your business. Plus, don't miss out on our expert tips to help your business grow and thrive. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur or a seasoned business pro, this is the podcast for you. So let's get down to business. What's up, Camden County? You're catching the 31st episode of the Getting in Your Business podcast. I'm your host, Alison Shores from the Camden County Chamber of Commerce, and I am joined today by Shauna Spann from the Camden County Chamber of Commerce.
Hey, y'all.
This Getting in Your Business podcast is made possible by our Chairman Circle sponsors, Comcast Business, Georgia Power Company, Sparklight, Georgia's Own Credit Union, Plug Power, St. Mary's DDA, TDS Telecom, and Ameris Bank. So guys, let's get down to some business. I've got a very important, special, I don't even know all the words to use here in the studio with us.
Prominent to the
Wanda Clark. Whoop, whoop.
Hey, y'all.
From Wandafulthings. Girl, we are so excited to have you in this studio. The last 30 minutes prepping for this has been like, there was no prep. We just laughed. And that's
comedy.
Yes. So, but here's the thing. I still get from people in Camden County, like, I didn't even know Wanda was there. I didn't even know that Wandafulthings. And I'm like, wait, how do you not know this special human? Like,
thank you.
So anyway, I want to talk about like who Wanda Clark is, what Wandafulthings is, all the things. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's start off with.
I don't even know how to answer that. Who's Wanda Clark?
So first of all, tell us like where you're from and how you got into cooking.
Well, I'm a hometown girl, you know?
Okay. Camden County through and through.
Through and through. Like talking all my life.
You graduated from here?
Graduated from Camden County High School, cheerleader.
Oh, my goodness.
Dance team, all the things.
All the things. But you grew up watching your mom and your grandmother cook, correct?
Yes. So most of my childhood, I can just remember being in the kitchen. So I think it's kind of one of those people like, oh, I was born with it. I don't know if I was born with the ability to cook.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
But I just felt like I belonged there.
Yes.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
It does make sense. Yes.
Like it was just comfort. You know how when you find a new house or whatever and you're just like, oh, this is it. This is home.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of like that inside my home.
I love it.
Was just the kitchen.
And you started out, cooking for your family, working in restaurants, what?
So ironically, the first meal I ever cooked was an anniversary dinner for my parents.
Oh,
I have heard this. Please tell this story. Yes.
So anniversary dinner, and I was like, oh, I've learned, like I've watched my whole life, so I know how to do this, even though I never touched a pot. Yeah, ever. Okay. So I was probably about 13.
Okay.
12, 13. I was in middle school. I know that. So roughly that age. And I was going to cook a steak dinner with shrimp, and I took every condiment that my mother owned and made a sauce to go with the shrimp, Yeah, the whole 9 yards. Set up little TV trays in the living room so they could sit closer together. And
so you've always been the hostess with the mostest, too.
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried really hard. I tried to dim the lights. I didn't want to see no funny business because, they're your parents. But I wanted it to be great. And, they ate it all. I don't know if it was really great, or if they just loved me enough to eat it.
Right.
But they cleaned their plates, and I was so proud of myself.
If I had been doing that at 13, my parents would have gotten a Pop-Tart or a peanut butter and jelly.
I thought about it halfway through. I was this is a lot.
Yeah, and I'm like, I love you guys. And you're over here doing some shrimp with some cream sauce or something.
I thought I had my life together. You couldn't tell me I wasn't Chef Boyardee Wanda.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So tell me about your story or your journey through getting to Wandafulthings, because you didn't just say, oh, you know what? I'm going to open this and
this is gonna happen.
No, I wish there was a button. But.
Well, it's been a journey, and honestly, the last 7.5, 8 years, I've gotten to go on that journey with you. Shauna and I both have, and it has been such a delight. And we've cried, we've been angry, we've been questioning things. We're like, what do we do? So I want you to talk about some of that, because I think people don't understand sometimes how hard it is to run a small business, and especially bringing your talents and your passion and stuff to your community, and you want them to be a part of it. And I think people don't understand how you have to try and fail.
But I'm sorry, they don't have the wherewithal to ask.
Yeah.
You knew that the level where you needed to say, I need help.
Yeah. Well, no,
Sometimes I can be stubborn.
No,
You can,
she
but-
was not. And it wasn't even about the help. It's just about like the transition of how you had to go through all the different things. So let's talk about where you started.
So, well, we can go all the way. I was 17 and I said, I'm going to have a catering business.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I made up a name and all these things.
Yeah.
And printed out, burned through all the paper and all the ink.
Yeah.
At the house. I thought I was doing something. Printed my own business cards.
Yeah.
Thank you to the Walmart.
Yeah. To the Walmart.
But I didn't have a business license. Y'all don't come after me for that.
Listen.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. That was never heard. But I thought, I can just do this because I worked my first job at Shownotes, and of course I was in the
Shownotes.
Yeah, that's where
They had that little bar, the like the breakfast bar. They'd have
and they had a seafood bar on Friday nights.
I forgot about Shoney's.
How
Go
can you
ahead.
forget
I know, right?
Such a staple in Camden County.
Oh, the best turkey club you want to find.
Yes.
All right, back to Wanda.
Sorry.
I'm
We
going to
get
separate you two. Go ahead.
So working at Shoney's, I was just like, hey, there's a kitchen back there. And I would always get in trouble because I was in the kitchen and I wasn't supposed to be in the kitchen. And I was like, hey, why don't you just do this? We can't do that. This is not the menu, Wanda. You can't do that. But you can. Anyway, so I worked at Shoney's and I just really thought that I wanted to entertain and I wanted to, make people smile and be a part of, people come in the Shoney's and they have their birthdays and we sing the songs. And I know that sounds it's such a smaller scale to my dream, but it's a little drop in the bucket. Just like it was the beginning.
Well, it helped you get to where you are now because you learned things during the Shoney's days.
Oh, yeah.
That have helped you.
Yeah, I went through
since.
management stages of that. And then I worked at Angelo's for Mr. Angelo.
That's one of Shauna's faves.
Listen,
I remember him.
he taught me so much. He'd tap me on my hands and he said, no, not like that, like this. Okay. Got it. Yes, sir. So.
Okay, so you were at Shoney's,
Angelo's, and then came Lang's really shortly after. And like most people know, Lang's has been such a large part of my journey and my story. But, you work everywhere. You start in the kitchen, you do the grunt work. So when I say I've worked everything in the restaurant, I've literally done it all.
You really have. And like every position in the restaurant, because I don't think people understand, when you're a manager, you have to be able to take the tongs or the spoon or the whatever it is from anybody on your line at any point in time.
Work.
Yeah, and do work. So you've got to be able to do all their jobs.
All the jobs.
Yeah.
Learn how to work all the equipment, fix it if need be, or, backup solutions and plans and
what to do if a hurricane's coming and you've got to, you've got to worry about things.
Had a little too much experience in that lately.
Yes. So, but it's those things that you learn, and gaining experience in a restaurant is, that's where I started. And so, you learn so much about people.
A lot about people.
About, being in the kitchen.
And yourself.
Yes, and yourself. And kind of how you want to do things. So I think working in somebody else's restaurant for a little while gives you kind of how you want it. You kind of get in your head. Right. I wouldn't do this if this were mine, but I'm going to,
That's one of the things that I think I've taken from a lot of different restaurants and corporations or companies that I've worked for or with. Being the kind of leader that you want to be.
Yeah.
Because over the years I've learned, we all know that everybody's different, right? Like everybody has different personalities.
Yeah.
But how to approach someone or different people with different personalities instead of trying to lead the ship in one way. Like some people you have to be more stern and say, hey, this is not the way we do this. This is the way we do this. And there's other people you have to kind of finesse.
Yeah.
Or lead by example and say, or even lead by a mistake, a purposeful mistake.
Yes.
But like, if somebody doesn't understand after you told them several times and you're like, you're just not getting this. And so sometimes I've made their mistake that I'm trying to show them on purpose. And they go, They go, why'd you do that? That's not quite right. Well, see, that's what you did.
Yeah.
You
Find
know?
out.
So just learning how to manage people and different personalities and learning how to approach and communicate better, be a better communicator.
Yeah.
Because that can be really challenging with 5,000 different personalities.
Yeah.
You know,
in one person.
Yeah, perception is a crazy thing, just because.
So I think, like, fast forward to now, we've got Wonderful Things right here in downtown Kingsland, and we love it. I want to talk about some of the things you've been doing with Wonderful Things, because it hasn't been an easy road, Wonderful Things.
It has not. We started with Sudi. Well, not started, but we had Sudi and Dutz, which was my first restaurant. Give it a go. And I thought that was it,
But with that, we were part of that, and it's, I remember sitting at the table crying with you because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing enough to know if I can help her or not, and I just want her to make it. That was my whole thing, because
you think you have it all together, because I worked for so many. I mean, since a kid, and adulthood, and you scramble up every kind of money that you have, and you go, this is it. You find what you think is a good place, and sometimes it's not really the right place, but we make it fit.
And we're trying to make it fit, and sometimes if that's just not what God has for you, it's just not
going
to work. Yeah,
right.
Working too hard.
So sometimes you push where you shouldn't, but through that, I wouldn't necessarily call it a failure, but
no,
at that time I thought it was a failure.
It was not a failure, because people love your food. That is hands down, you and food, they go together.
Well, I will say, Wonderful Things has definitely allowed me the second chance to do everything that I really wanted to do with Sudi and Dutz, but I didn't have the courage to do it my way. Like, I listened to everyone else because, well, this is my town and this is their town. And so what do you guys want? Oh, we want a buffet. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. But
well, I think you gained confidence through that, because you realized, like, you weren't wrong. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you listen to these people, but if you had just listened in here,
right,
like, things would have probably been okay. But go ahead, what were you going to say?
Where does Sweet Decadence?
Sincere Decadence.
That
was my catering name.
Yeah. Where does that fit in? And
so that was the catering name that I came up when I was 17.
Really?
But I really didn't. I mean, I only did it for family and friends.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, Wanda caters. I sure do.
Okay. Okay. So that was before. Okay. That was when you were younger. Okay. So once Sudi and Dutz, once it closed, how long before you opened Wonderful Things? Because you did something in between there.
So I went to other restaurants to kind of, Lang's is always like my center.
Yeah.
Actually after Sudi and Dutz, I kind of gave up. I was like, I'm not, like, I felt like God gave me something and he took it away. And I didn't understand. And so I was really sad and depressed for a long time. And I was like, I'm not cooking anymore.
Yeah. Whatever.
And a really good friend that also worked at Lang's, I called me and she said, oh, I really need you. You got to come help me in the kitchen. It's just not right. And I need you to organize this kitchen. I said, I don't do that anymore.
But I know this friend, and she was not going to take no for an answer.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, she's driving me crazy. I don't even want to do this, but fine, I'll come down there.
Yeah.
Like, one day.
Yeah.
And I was like, but we have this and all these people. And I'm like, 2 days. You get 2 days. I don't do this anymore. But it's kind of like falling off a bike, I mean,
we all knew it was a matter of time before you got back into it.
Saw those big pretty pots.
Oh man, they weren't even pretty. I was like, oh, hey, you want me to flip that for you?
I've missed you.
Yeah.
Hey, friend.
Just walked in the kitchen. I was like, oh, stir that pot.
Okay.
Time to stir that. So anyway, I went down there and it was just instant. Like, it was like just the fire just ignited again, And, but it was like, what am I doing with myself?
Yeah.
And so magically a position came available at Lang's within like a day.
Magically.
24 hours.
Yeah.
Fine.
Look at God.
Won't he do it?
Won't he?
Won't he do it? So anyway, I started back at Lang's again in the kitchen as the kitchen manager, and it just kind of went from there. And then other opportunities came, and I went to other places, and then COVID hit.
Yep.
And all in between all of that, I was still doing the weddings at the wedding chapel, which was also a way for me to cook and feed people in the community to say, hey, I can cook food. Yeah. Because, how do you just start a business and go, hey, I can cook. I thought I could do that at 17. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You just keep cooking for your same aunts and uncles. You got to expand if you really want a business. But I just felt like doing weddings and catering the food at weddings would be a good way to get a good group of people to eat your food at once.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. But then when COVID happened, it kind of shut everything down. We weren't allowed to get together and have weddings or really anything. So the world definitely changed a lot.
It did.
After COVID. And so working for other people throughout that time. And then because of COVID, things changed. Lang's ultimately closed down, which broke my heart because,
It's now locals.
It is now locals.
Yeah.
So I still go in there and it warms my heart to just have that, I don't know what I'd do if I'd just go sit in the water, I guess, if the building was. I'd just be sitting in the water.
Listen.
Centering myself, But I was sitting in the bridal suite and with Brooklyn, my daughter, and most of y'all have seen her on the show.
Yeah.
And I said, I just don't know what's next. And she said, you should just do your own thing. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm going down that road again. I don't know if that's meant for me.
Bless Brooklyn.
Okay.
And she said, no, you should just do your own thing, Mom. You should just do it in here. And I said, in here? And she left, and there was really nothing else said. And then later on that night, I was like, let me take a drive and go back in there and just look around.
See if I can envision it.
Just see what happens.
Yeah.
And I took a notebook and a piece of paper, and I just sat in there, and I just started writing down things. And I'm like, well, there's running water. And this could be a kitchen.
Yeah.
I mean, I could put a pot in here.
Yeah.
I could make some things happen. And then, of course, my brain, it goes 5,000 miles an hour. Yeah, y'all all know this. So
That's why we're all friends.
yes.
Okay.
So paper helps me. So 20 pages later, there was names of businesses that could possibly be, and just writing my name, Wanda Clark. Do your own thing.
Yeah.
Wanda's Things. Wandaful Things.
Okay.
And then I was so excited. And the next day I, wake up Brooklyn. I'm like, we're going to do Wonderful Things. And she's like, what? What does that even mean?
We're going to do what?
What?
You remember how you said, okay. So
Yeah.
that's how Wonderful Things was born.
I love it.
Amazing.
And at that point, I still didn't really know.
I'm going to have to hug Brooklyn a little tighter,
Yeah.
Well, that's what they say, from the mouth of babes,
That's what I was going to say. And I was like, I don't know if it's mouth of babes. That's what went through my mind. So anyway, but yeah. So, okay, we open Wonderful Things.
We open Wonderful Things.
And
with
then
all my crazy ideas,
Yeah. Downtown Kingsland.
Downtown Kingsland, right in the heart of Kingsland.
Yep.
It is off the beaten path, but I don't know. It's just a different kind of place. People ask me that all the time. Well, if you were on the main road, or if you were closer to 95, or, if you were in St. Mary's because it's tourists, if you were there, but it's something about.
Your food is good. They will find you.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they
come.
find you. But
it's a cute little space. First of all, absolutely cute little space. You can do your thing there. So I love it. I love it's a little, it's a takeout. If the weather's good, you can sit outside. It's just so cute. And let's talk about some of the different things that you do as far as what you cook and what's on your menu.
And people ask me that all the time, and they say, "Do you have a specialty? Do you have a thing?" And I'm like, "I don't really have a thing." But I think if you ask other people, they would say my thing is mac and cheese. If you ask Kanan, he'll say it's the brunch.
The mile high.
I love the brunch chick. I love your mac and cheese. That's just bottom line. I've loved it from Sooty and Dutz days when you had those fried mac and cheese balls.
Yeah, we still have those.
I know you do. And let me tell you, the first time I ever had one of those, I was like, I need to be this girl's friend. I don't know, but something just hit right in my soul because it's that good. And it's so, anyway, you know how my husband always loves to tag you on Facebook when he finds a recipe.
I owe him a cake currently.
Yes, you do. Because I ain't making it. I was like, do you see how many ingredients are in there? I can do some things, but
You max out after.
I do. Yeah. There's just too much and too many steps, So I don't know how you.
Oh, the cakes, the tall cakes.
I'm amazed at your cakes and what you can pull off because you're not just doing pretty little cakes. You can also do themed cakes, and people are like, "Hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z," and you're like, "Okay." You bring it to life.
Well, thank you.
Some of these cakes I've seen, I'm like, "What?"
Yeah. I don't even consider myself a baker. Like that's not.
Isn't that funny?
Really?
Because cooking is my jam. Like that's, but my
baking
dad baked.
is a precise science, and you can't
that's what
just,
they say.
But I
just be winging it. That's how
put
a lot
some
of
more
things.
that in it.
Yeah, just a little of this.
What is it? Wait till your ancestors tell you to stop or whatever.
That's it.
Yeah.
Baking is a science. You can't just go all willy nilly.
Absolutely.
But there is a little wiggle room.
There's a little room.
I know. I've done this.
Okay, so I hear you when you say that there's wiggle room. However, I find that not to be true. Maybe in your world, because you know what this butter and this sugar and these eggs are going to do to the cake or whatever. Maybe because you know. But me, I'm like, and we need a stick of this, and we need 2 cups of this. And I don't know that. Do I need that butter at room temperature, or is it better cold for this baking, or do these eggs need to be? There's so many questions.
It is so many things.
Do I need to sift my flour, or is it fine because it says it's extra fine? Whatever. Like I don't know, but it's a
lot of things.
Yeah.
But so you say there's a lot of wiggle room, but it's still it's a science, and it's also a gift, because I can follow a recipe, but I don't have any knowledge of if something goes wrong. I don't know if it's because my butter was room temperature.
Right.
Or if it was because, I used this kind of sugar as opposed to this or whatever it is. I'm just making up stuff at this point. But
it's good.
But those are serious things for me. Like, I don't, okay, you can play around with it, Don't
experiment with that next week.
You can because you know what's happening. I'm just following a recipe, so when it comes
that
wrong.
Whole perception thing, though. See, from your perception.
Yeah.
From my perception, it's like, you can play around. But from yours.
Yeah, you cannot play around.
That, though. She's like, you cannot do it. It's not a thing.
I mean, maybe I could if I had a better understanding, but I don't stop long enough to figure out. I just follow the recipe and hope it's told me everything I need.
Well, I'm glad that I learned, I guess, maybe backwards. Like, if I learned baking first.
Yeah.
I think I would feel more like it has to be this way.
Yeah.
But with cooking, you have more freedom, so to speak, I think, to play around and whatever. So maybe that translates into my baking.
Yeah.
But baking was something that I just started doing because it was still that creative realm, but it was just, and still cooking, but different.
Yeah.
And I'm a creative person, so I could care less about baking the cake. Okay, I'm going to keep it real, right?
Okay, yeah. Please keep it real.
Let's just bake things.
Yeah.
But can I make it pretty? Anybody want to bake all the things for me?
I want to make pretty things.
Just make it pretty. Like I want to carve out a tunnel in a cake and put a little bookcase in there with a dragon and write the tiny little volume number.
And you do, and you can eat all those things. And I'm just like, wait, what?
That's the fun, creative outlet for me. But baking is not necessarily a passion.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. And because you're so good at it, I just assume it's your passion.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Much. Well, it's grown. We all get memories on the Facebook.
Yes, we do.
And I go, oh my God, posted that on Facebook.
Same. I don't even look at the things.
The book of face every time.
And everybody was so nice and was like, oh my God, you did so well. And I'm like, did you see the same cake that I saw?
Yeah. So, so what is Wanda Clark's favorite thing that you make?
I really don't have a favorite.
There isn't a cookie or anything that is your favorite?
I'm not
grits.
Well, I can't eat shellfish. I'm allergic.
Oh yeah, Shauna, we had this discussion
just now.
I know.
I just like trying new things. Like I just like all types of food.
What was your favorite thing that your mama made?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese. I love
it.
I love it. So she taught you, because me and Shauna already had this conversation for Thanksgiving. You have to have. Go ahead and tell them, Shauna.
Got to have the wing.
You
got to have it.
Experience.
Don't come in there playing.
Like
get your feelings hurt.
Yeah, this cauliflower stuff, all that.
Don't be putting no sausage in there.
Yeah,
there better not be tomatoes. I want my mac and cheese.
The noodles, 4 or 5 cheeses.
Yeah.
Butter.
Some
butter.
Good milk, some good butter. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of Thanksgiving, I know is still a little bit away, but you cook for people on Thanksgiving. Now, I know that time has passed for people to place orders, but is that something that you're thinking about doing for Christmas and stuff as well?
I think I might do it for Christmas. I've never done it for Christmas. But, I feel like we eat Thanksgiving on Christmas.
We do.
Don't we eat Thanksgiving?
I eat pretty much the same.
Yes.
So it's like, do I really want, it's the next month. We got 30 days.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll offer a Christmas dinner with a twist.
I think I was just throwing that in there for me.
So
are you cooking at Christmas or
am I?
But something that Shauna and I have gotten to do with you, I think is really cool, is your little cooking show. I know I skipped subjects real quick, but I just wanted to touch on your cooking show. That has taken off. It's really cool. It's so much fun to be on there. Like, what made you want to start a little cooking show?
I've had a cooking show since I was like 3.
Right.
Just in case y'all didn't know.
I've been doing this since I was 3.
I've been doing this since I was 3.
I had my Easy Bake Oven, and I was making my little cakes.
Literally, so my dad dibbled and dabbled in everything. I mean, he cut down trees. Ironically, my husband cuts down trees.
I was about to say, isn't that funny?
But that wasn't his full-time job. But he just, we just got a big log truck in the yard. It's fine. That's what he does on the side. But he would have bricks or pieces of wood or whatever. And I'm in the yard. My mama would order me sand to be delivered in this little box that my dad built in the yard. And that was my kitchen. My sandbox was my kitchen. So I would she bought me pots and pans or gave me old pots and pans. And I would be cooking. And you couldn't tell me none of that mud was...
I can't. Okay. I hope I can go through all your pictures and find a little picture of little Wanda in the sandbox with her pots and her pans.
I mean, I'm literally...
That's hilarious.
Food has been my life since my life, Yeah.
So it just made sense to do this cooking show now.
Yeah.
So when does it... I can never remember when your show is. So please tell... I'll get it wrong if I say it.
It's the last Sunday in every month.
Yes.
Unless there's, hurricanes or...
Yeah, sometimes it throws us off.
Sometimes we get a little off
But
track.
people can buy tickets to this show now, and that's what's so cool. The last one we did, we had a live audience.
A lot of people.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell people, are you going to continue to do that?
Yeah, we hope so. As long as we continue to have the feedback, we're hoping that it grows. Obviously, coming up with some new ideas, maybe a date night edition or some fun things, Doing a show with kids probably would be great.
Does this date night include you coming to my house and cooking?
I mean that could be a
what?
I also offer personal chef services.
You're a personal chef as well.
Okay.
Right? So you don't have to come to the show for me to do that. I mean, you just call me and say, "Hey, Wanda, I don't want to cook. Just come in and take over my kitchen." And
so real quick, let's talk about the different things that you can do, because I don't know if people are fully taking advantage of everything that you have to offer. So let's talk about what you're doing.
Everything. So, personal chef services. I will come to your home. I guess it kind of also can turn into catering from that. I mean, there's a fine line between personal chef services.
Yeah.
But if you want something intimate at your home, I can come do that. We've done hibachi in someone's backyard for a small family get together. And that was great. But our catering services, we have a full staff that we can bring and provide, everything. So you don't really have to do.
I was about to say you have everything, and
if you don't have a kitchen that you think is big enough, I mean, we've made it work. I mean,
well, I know you catered our Boss Lady event that the Tribune and Georgian did. I said our, but it's really the Tribune and Georgian, and that was phenomenal. Today I have a ribbon cutting and you did some cookies for them. You do so much. You have the cookies and the cakes and you have the catering of, I mean, you name it, you can do it. It doesn't have to be, it can be charcuterie board.
Yes.
All the little...
charcuterie cups.
Yes.
Appetizers, it doesn't have to be a full meal.
But that's what's so cool about you is if you can dream it, you'll figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
So versatile.
So, good deal.
I'm kind of a crazy person in that aspect, though.
But I want to thank you for, the things that you do in our community. I know you were just at Albert's Jewelers. You've helped out, churches with their dinners. I mean, you get involved. You helped me with the Kingsland Methodist Fall Festival. I couldn't get it out. I don't know sorry. But you've helped me with that. You try to get involved in our community so much. Our community loves you. Is there any, if people don't know, I can't imagine. It is still so crazy to me that people don't know you, period. How do you not know?
We all know. I don't like to be.
I know, but
if I do something, you don't have to tag. I just want to do it because I want to do it.
And that's what we
people, And
I think that's why you fit in so good with the chamber. You have the servant heart, and you don't want any recognition, which drives me crazy. Because I want to shout it from the rooftops. My people, people are so amazing. I'm surrounded with the best people, and I just want people to know that. necessarily, people ask, and I say this on a lot of podcasts, but it makes me mad when they say, do y'all know a small business that supports their community? Are you kidding me?
Let's talk about it.
Yes, because, like you literally are bringing the thing that you love and that you're passionate about, and you are bringing it and because you want your community to have it.
Yeah.
Like, what more investment in your community do you need? You're putting your money where your mouth is. And I love it. I appreciate you. What were you going to say, Shauna? I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, you were saying about in the community. I went to locals and I was like, okay, I'm so full. I can't do anything. They say, you sure? Wanda made the cakes, made the desserts. Wait, Wanda?
Wait, like my Wanda?
Which one did she make?
And you do,
Everyone.
like you were helping us out with our military tour. That there's just so much that you've done in this community, and so we thank you for that. And just in case people don't know Wanda Clark or haven't heard about Wandaful Things, where can they go? Like, tell them where you're located, your phone number, the best way to get a hold of you, those kinds of things.
Well, you can message me on Facebook, obviously. I mean, I think that's everybody's go-to. But the shop phone number is 912-439-1241. I don't answer the phone if I'm not there.
Yeah. Leave a message.
Leave a message.
Same.
I'll call you back. Some people's like, well, I called you on Monday and Tuesday, which brings us to our hours. We are open Wednesday through Saturday, 10:30 to 3 currently, but things are in the works. Hopefully we'll be able to get our bearings together and shake some things up. I've been saying it for a while, but, you got to find the right pieces before you execute. So I've been saying it for a while, but hopefully having some nighttime events, or maybe throwing a brunch in there. But a lot has happened in the last couple of weeks with business, so it's been a struggle. But and I think keep pushing,
and everybody's struggling right now as far as finding employees, finding just with different kinds of things, businesses are struggling. So we really need to wrap our arms around and just be flexible, understand.
Be understanding.
Yes.
Please believe, like the last few months, if I've been closed, if it hasn't been for catering, it's been for a reason that I just couldn't be open. It's not.
You didn't have water.
I didn't have small details. It didn't have water. Didn't have electricity.
When Kingsland went down, we didn't have water, and that affects you.
I didn't have a stove. It's fine.
Yeah.
Small details.
I mean, the hurricane, when, I don't know if it was Helene or Milton that came through that, was not nice to you. And so there's just so many things. Just please be flexible.
Give grace.
Yes.
To all our small businesses, especially this holiday. Because they're struggling. Just give them some grace.
If you can support, please support. It means so much.
And when we say they're struggling, it's not that they're about to close their doors. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is, like, costs have still gone up. It's hard to find workers, which means our business owners are working more and more and more, taking on, maybe their day off was Wednesday, but now they don't have anybody to work. So now they're working on their one day off,
Right.
And so it's about being, understanding and flexible and just giving grace. And hey, if you need a job, we've got some small businesses that would love to have you. So yeah. Well, thank you so much, Wanda. I really appreciate you taking the time. Was there anything else that you wanted to say before we got off of here?
No, not really. I'm just glad to still be able to be doing what I love,
Me too.
Only a few days a week, but it's, you can find me always in my little hole. That's what I call it. Yeah. I'm always in the hole. Like, where's Wanda? You mentioned
we're going to call it your
community.
Retreat. Your retreat.
But I'm always in the kitchen. People say, is Wanda here? I'm always at the shop. Yeah. I'm always cooking. I'm the only cook. But we are located at 151 East William Avenue. I don't think I got that out. In downtown Kingsland. It is off the beaten path, but please come and see us when you can. But yeah, just give a little grace. Just support where you can.
Yeah.
I'd love to feed you all the time if I could.
I know you love feeding us.
And try new things. I say that a lot on the show, but
try new things.
Definitely try new things. Like, we cook some. Like, we have a chicken Philly currently, but there's a little twist. So the twist is the jalapeno slaw that goes on top. Ooh. So it's not like a traditional Philly because it does have that twist, but just try it with the slaw. Just one bite.
Listen,
might change
your face when I tried the venison, the deer.
Listen.
Her face said, what?
Exactly.
I didn't know what happened.
I think I surprised myself. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try it.
I couldn't believe it.
And I'm a picky eater, so You know, I mean, y'all both
not.
know.
Can you say picky?
I think there was a moment where I just kind of stared at you.
Yeah, like, wait, what are you
What
doing?
is happening?
Yeah, can't help
Don't
it.
put that in your mouth.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Stop that.
You said you weren't going to do that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
But
it's,
that makes my heart happy.
Yeah.
It just does. It's the way I love through my food, and
it's your love language.
it is.
I love
Because
that.
that's
It's great
how
to
I
see
was.
someone doing what they love, because as their work, but it's not work.
Right.
And you can tell. It's like you walk in, you're like, okay,
Some days is work.
yeah.
Don't lie.
It is.
Some days
No,
is work.
It's really. Some days I'm
It's an
like,
experience.
I only took a nap for 30 seconds. I don't even know what's going to happen. But at the end of it all, though, when all the hard work is done, it's rewarding.
Yeah.
You know, and you just get to be a part of everyone's life. Like, oh, it's my kid's birthday. I mean, there's so many kids that I've done.
You've made all their cakes.
All their birthday cakes.
You make my birthday cakes.
This past
Twice.
week, I made cookies for someone's baby shower that I started making her cakes when she was 16. So
That's cool.
it's cool when, you just.
And you love your people. Like you
I do.
love hard, and I love that about you.
I love hard and I fall hard too,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I get back up.
You get back up.
I'm getting old, so getting up is a little slow sometimes.
Who you telling?
Listen, this
Jesus,
podcast is going to go in a million different directions if I don't wrap this up. So
I'm so sorry.
So yeah, it'll be fun,
You're
but
right.
Yeah.
Kanan might be a little annoyed.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us this
Thank you
morning.
for having me.
And Shauna, I'm so excited that you joined me today.
Trying something new.
I love it.
Expanding my
Let's hear it in the comments. Get Shauna back on the podcast.
That's right. That's right.
All right, thank you guys. You've called the 31st episode of the Get In Your Business podcast.